Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the series here, 4,000 a day with influencer marketing. Today we're going to be talking about how to actually find ones that are going to convert for you guys. Real quick, join the Discord down below. The link is in the description and the pinned comment for free. You guys can join until the first 500 members. So make sure you guys get that. We're almost full for the free. After that, it will be paid. So get in while you guys can. So today we're going to be talking, like I said, about how to find the right ones, how to find influencers that are actually going to work and not be a waste of your time. So I guarantee if you guys stick around for the end of this video, you're going to learn a ton more than you don't want to miss out on this, because this is probably the most important part of doing all of this, is actually finding the right ones to work with. So I'm going to be giving some tips and tricks. So take some notes on this and some things that I haven't seen talked about anywhere else by these gurus. And I don't know why a lot of people don't talk about this, but I'm letting you guys know all about it. And so like I said, stick around to the end here. So first of all, finding the actual influencers, I'm going to be talking about some tools to use. Some great tools are basically to judge their engagement and how many people are actually tuning into their audience. That's a big part of, the connection, which I've talked about in the series before, this 4,000 a day with influencer marketing series that we just started here. I've talked about that before on the channel here as well. Calculating the engagement rating that each influencer has, go to Flanks or Tank engagement rating. That is a great one. Basically what will happen is you look up their username and then you can check them. But, if you don't have anybody to check, then what are you gonna do? So first of all, the initial stages is, that's why I talk about finding the right niche in a lot of my videos. Picking the right niche is gonna be your best friend overall. It's gonna be, if you make the decision, it's gonna be, in your favor if you guys do that correctly. There's many different niches, and of course nowadays there's influencers in almost all of them. However, there are a few main ones, just for example, fitness, makeup, tech. There's a couple different ones where they actually have bigger influencers, and it's a bigger industry, especially like fitness, all of them. But just focusing on fitness, there's bigger influencers, bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders, Gymshark athletes, tons of different things like that. Same thing with makeup, big makeup artists. I talk about Jeffree Star in the other video. He's been in the news lately. Regardless, guys, actually finding these influencers will bring you more. So what I mean by that is essentially when you guys follow an influencer in the space that you guys are in, they're going to be connected with these other influencers. So if you guys stay active on your brand's Instagram page, follow these influencers, go through their comments, see what other influencers are commenting on there, follow them. It becomes, basically a chain effect. You build a big network and basically a big net of influencers that you guys can therefore basically try out and see, then on top of that, going, who do these influencers follow, okay? Of course, on Instagram, the little swipe down tab, basically the little arrow, the little carrot, it pops down and you guys can see the other influencers. That works as well. But mainly what I focus in on is if I'm trying to find more influencers to basically work with, I will go to an influencer that I like. I will check out their comments, preferably one of the bigger influencers, because a lot of these smaller influencers will be commenting on their posts, etc., as well as who that influencer follows. Then you can of course go through their likes, but mainly you're going to be focusing on comments. Boom, now you got the influencers, you got their usernames, check them out. You want to see if they're actually going to work. Like I said, on top of that, after you guys go to Flanks and the Tank engagement rating calculators, check out their percentages. Basically, Tank will give you a full, average of comments on every single one of their posts. How many comments do they get on each of their posts, right? And that's going to be a really great thing with the engagement rating. What I typically like to say is, if they have a bigger audience, the percentage is going to be maybe smaller and maybe a little smaller. However, that's because Kim Kardashian, I think, has like a 2% engagement rating because she's got millions and millions of followers. Of course, that's just going to be hard to get all those people engaging. So that's just the nature of it. The bigger influencer seems like the big influencers have smaller influencer engagement rating. They have smaller engagement ratings, However, the smaller ones, around 100K followers, really you should be looking anywhere above 5%. It's going to be real solid. And overall, with the experience, you guys are going to get better at actually finding these influencers, which ones are going to work for you, what to look for with their comments. When you guys go through there, of course, you're going to want to search through, see if they're real, of course, see what the people are saying on their posts. If there's a real engagement with the audience from the influencer, of course, that's going to help deciphering that through the comments as well. As far as finding more, there's tons of lists on the internet that you guys can be doing. I dropped some in the Discord as well, influencers. And like I said, for real quick, just a little plug for the question of the day. If you guys have been following me here, you guys know already. I'm just gonna reiterate it real quick. Basically we're having a question a day on each upload. So if you guys win the question, the upload, basically comment the previous upload. I asked a question. On this upload, you guys need to comment down below the answer to that question. Today's question is going to be, what is your favorite color? Okay, so you're gonna answer that on the next upload. And of course, you guys have to watch all the way through to get these questions. What is the perk of basically answering these questions is essentially on each upload, like I said, tomorrow or the next upload after this video is gonna be, what is your favorite color? You're gonna comment down below, maybe blue. On the next upload, everybody's gonna go comment their favorite color. I therefore, on that upload, I scroll through and pick one of the comments randomly, and that is gonna be the winner of that upload. So the same thing for this video, except today's video is going to be, the question is gonna be from the prior video. Hope that makes sense, guys. Basically, it will be in the description as well, the instructions. However, out of all the winners, we're picking one grand winner to get $1,000 worth of influencers, a big list of influencers that you guys can actually work with. I used to charge for that. However, you guys are gonna get $1,000 worth of influencer recommendations. The grand winner is. I'm also working on some prizes for all the group of the actual winners on each upload. Now, back to the point here. Thanks for staying tuned with that and commenting on the next upload, so stay tuned for that. And going back for the previous video to answer that question. Now, actually finding ones that are gonna work for you. Guys, it's gonna come down to ultimately testing, of course. There's different things that you guys can do when reaching out to these influencers or searching for these influencers, searching for them, basically studying them, getting the vibe of them, follow them for a little bit. What I typically will do is, of course, on my brand's Instagram, I only will follow the influencers that I want to work with or that I have an interest with. So therefore, I can basically get familiar with them. What do they post about on their stories? How often do they post? That's a big part of it as well. Going to their stories, of course, if you guys have seen the other videos on my channel, I did a breakdown of, influencer recommendations. I would always go to their stories to see how active are they on their stories. If they are active, obviously, on the story feed, as they post throughout the day, they're going to pop up on the audiences. Each person in the audience, they're going to pop up in the front of the story list. If you guys are familiar with Instagram, you guys know that as well already, because that's a big part. When they do a post for you on their feed, your story feed, you want more people to see that in their audience. So if they're posting frequently throughout that day, more people are going to tune in because they're going to be at the start of the list, etc., etc. You guys get my point there. That's the big part of it as well. If they post frequently, like I said, just getting the vibe of the influencer is going to be your best friend. Essentially, that tactic, figuring out what they like to do, what their audience reacts to the best. Then, I typically will go with story posts mainly. But if you find out that, this influencer doesn't post much on their stories, however, their feed posts are going crazy, that may be something, a little tweak that you guys need to make that you guys would not have figured out if you guys did not figure out their vibe and study them, basically, and follow them for a little bit and get the whole feeling. Overall, ultimately, it comes down to testing. Of course, you guys need to test to figure it out. You guys are never gonna know until you test them. We're gonna be talking about negotiating, story posts, feed posts, tons of different things in this series, guys. Like I said, I'm basically breaking this into segments so you guys can get the whole part of this, the whole point of every little single point, basically, so I can go in detail of every little step of it, because there's a lot that comes into this. And I'm ultimately just trying to give you guys the best advice, the best knowledge that you guys can literally go act upon ASAP, and what you guys should be looking for, so that you guys don't waste money on influencers. You guys can reap the benefits of influencers, because it's very, very underrated, especially with everything going on influencers are going to take a surge in 2021. So get the relationships with them now. So definitely stay tuned on this series. Like I said, answer the question from the previous video on today's upload, and then the next upload you're going to answer what is your favorite color. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.